Hi. I am inviting all of us to go on a quantum leap. To move into a reality where we're not bringing with us some pain and some hurt and some victim. Because ultimately, everything we experience, even though we say, these are the facts and this is what happened and I was hurt and this person did this to me and life is like this, it's still only our perspective. Still only our perspective. So when we change the way that we see things, the things we see change. And by shifting your perspective and changing your story, you can jump into a new reality, a parallel reality where that doesn't exist. That hurt, that pain, that victim, that angst, that anger, that frustration, that person. And I'm going to give you a story, a very personal story, because I'm really good at stories. I'm divorced, and divorce isn't easy, and it's not nice. And we sometimes do and say things that are not nice. And I had the best victim story in my leaving and why, and I could tell it, and I could elicit emotion from people, but then I realized that this story isn't serving me. It's not serving my son or my son's father. It's perpetuating exactly what I don't want. And so kind of the guidelines to changing a story is be as specific as you can, and still having it feel good. And then you can add a little bit of intention to it of what you want it to be that still feels possible. And so I changed my story to, well, first of all, don't you have trauma bonding parties where people come together and they're like, oh, let's talk about all the bad things in our life now. And so I had to stop trauma bonding. And I had to instead tell my new story. And my new story was, we were best friends and we traveled the world and we got married and we had a baby and we discovered that we were better at being friends. And now we successfully co-parent. And that was the story I told myself and told other people for like, at least, I think it was a solid 6 months. I committed to that. And now, like, I don't even remember my victim story. It's not part of me. And he's my best friend, and I tell him I love him. We co-parent amazing, this beautiful little boy. So I'm asking you to look at your story and to change the way that you see things, because hindsight is 2020. And let's move into 2020 with a forward-moving perspective of what we want to take with us. Okay.